On the ends of both of these, we're going to have wheels. So out here we're going to put a wheel, an axle, and a wheel. And over here on this end, we'll have an axle, another wheel. And actually there's two wheels. There's going to be an axle, and the wheels are spaced about this far apart. So you have two wheels on this end, two wheels on this end. So the thing sets up real square. You want this thing to move perfectly square across the field. So you have to align these wheels so that they're absolutely square. And how you do that is you measure kitty corner. So when you look at a system like this, you got a wheel here, a wheel here, a wheel here, and a wheel here looking from the top. To make sure this is square, just measure diagonally with the tape. And this dimension here has to be exactly the same as that dimension there, and then you have it perfectly squared. And there are adjustments on these units so that you can get them squared up perfectly. Because we're going to drive this thing across the field. And that field is going to have a row of valves going down it, and that row of valves is going to be straight. Every 60 feet, there's going to be a valve. We want to run that wheel line perfectly perpendicular to that valve line so that it hooks up every 60 feet. If we get that thing off skewed 1 degree or a half a degree, it's going to start rolling across the field at an angle, and by the time we get to the 4th or 5th or 10th valve, we're not going to be able to hook it up. It's going to get so far off the field, it's going to start walking into the neighbors. So we really have to be sure that we get the wheel line set up perpendicular in the field. So you actually go out there and take a transit and shoot in a perpendicular line. Line up the valves and turn a 90 degree, put a set of stakes out across the field, and then build the wheel line right on that set of stakes so that you know you're exactly 90 degrees square to the main line. Then you have to make sure your mover is perfectly square so that it's going to roll that line straight when it operates. And that's how you have to set up and operate a wheel line. So it takes a little bit of care to get it set up initially correctly so that it can run for years and years from then on and operate the way you want it to. Any question on the wheel line at this point? On the mover? Yes?
Sometimes they have more than just one of those.
There is one style of manufacturer called Thunderbird that puts two movers on a line. About a quarter of the way in off each end, there will be a mover. And these units are not run by a gas engine. They actually have a drive line running between the two movers and also clear out to the edge of the field where you hook up to the main line. And so it makes it a little more expensive because you have to run a drive line right on top of the pipe all the way out. Well, it rolls with the pipe, it turns with the pipe, but you have a square drive line running out across about 1,000 foot almost of drive line. And then what they'll do is at the end of the unit, you go out, drive up with your pickup, have a power pack with you, hook up your impact wrench, and hook it onto that drive line and start turning that drive line. And there'll be a little gear reduction there, and you turn that drive line and it rolls the wheel, the movers. So you're spinning that drive line and there's two movers out there in the field that then drive forward just by mechanical linkage. No engine out in the field. You carry your power pack right with you in your pickup and use an impact driver to move it. Yeah.
That keeps it more square.
They're more square, you bet. They will run straighter over time. A little more money. Just a specialty product. And you'll see quite a few of those up around Othello. There are quite a few that have been sold up in that area. I don't think I've ever seen one in this valley, or even very close around Pasco. I don't think I've seen one. But you get up around Othello and Moses Lake, there's quite a few.
So if you've got a field that has varying topography, where it's up and down hills, you'd have to just section it off according to the hills and keep it so that it's fairly much on the same level?
Well, the question was, what about topography, and do the hills have an effect?